Welcome back to the sanctuary of scoops, dear Turkish Spotlight Secrets family. In a world as combustible as Turkish entertainment, where image often eclipses craft and loyalty buckles under the weight of inflated contracts, rare moments still cut through the noise. Every so often, amid the glare of spotlights and the grind of long shoot days, an act of solidarity shakes an entire production to its core. Today isn't a tale of fleeting flirtations or sun-soaked getaways. Today, we are stepping into a boardroom and backstage saga that rattled both budgets and hearts, with two epicenters, Urkin and Hazal Subaşı. The industry's hallways aren't humming with idle rumor, they're ringing with the tremor of a genuine crisis. Reports say a quiet war for artistic respect erupted behind the curtain, and that Urkin dropped a line of 7 words that froze the room and spooked the money men: "If Hazal leaves, I'm leaving too." What could push one of the most disciplined leading men to place his own deal squarely on the altar? Are we watching the final curtain fall on a hit series, or the opening chapter of an actor-led uprising? Before we unspool this thriller, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you catch every twist as it lands, and if you want to back the fearless digging that productions would rather no one saw, hit that join button. Your membership powers Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Ready for the truth behind an ultimatum that stopped a set? To grasp the size of this blast, we need to trace the fuse. Sources deeply embedded on set whisper that this tension didn't simply appear, it calcified over weeks, quiet, steady, and painful. At the center is Hazal Subaşı, an actress whose poise and screen magnetism need no defense, yet who, according to credible whispers, became the target of reckless creative neglect. The writing team, whether pressured by outside hands or blinded by their own missteps, allegedly started sliding her character to the fringes. Imagine what it does to a star who helps anchor a show, watching a role she nurtured through late nights and delicate beats be chipped away scene by scene until what once was a backbone becomes a pretty prop. Off the record, confidants say Hazal distilled her frustration into a single, airtight sentence: "I deserve more in this story." This wasn't vanity, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, it was about the dignity of the work. She wasn't chasing an extra close-up, she wanted the integrity of the character she'd carved with patience and steel to be respected. And while she absorbed this in silence, someone else refused to. Here's where the film suddenly sharpens. In a business where co-stars often focus on their own survival, Urkin decided he couldn't just nod and move on. He felt the weight of what Hazal was carrying. The spark they project on screen, that pulse that keeps fans glued, isn't optics, it comes from a bond rooted in professionalism, trust, and shared standards. Witnesses describe a set atmosphere turning brittle, awkward quiet over coffee, forced laughs evaporating midair, a lightness gone cold. Then the moment came. During what should have been a routine meeting, or maybe right after a clumsy scene that gutted the heartbeat of her arc, Urkin issued the line that ricocheted across offices. "If she leaves the project, I won't continue." Understand the weight of that. He didn't bargain for a bigger trailer. He didn't ask for more zeros. He planted a flag for loyalty. And the impact on the production was immediate, a chill that ran straight through budgets and calendars. Urkin knows the show stands on a partnership. He made it clear that if one pillar is knocked loose, the twin won't pretend to hold the roof alone. Pause with me and ask yourself: has anyone at your job ever put their own position on the line to defend your worth? Is Urkin acting as a principled ally or flirting with recklessness? Tell us what you think in the comments. Remember, our members who click join get priority answers and deeper dives from Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Inside the production, panic lit up the late hours. Emergency calls. Writers dragged back to laptops. Tables strewn with draft pages. The nightmare scenario, losing both leads in one blow, isn't just a creative headache, it's a red alert financial disaster. Insiders say producers, jittery and contrite, started mapping out a course correction for Hazal, promising a storyline that would put her back where she belongs, as a co-engine of the plot, not a passenger. Talk of weightier scenes, layered motivations, and a return to the core dynamic swooped through the rewrites. But is scramble a cure? Can an 11th hour about face repair a rupture in trust? Urkin, for his part, didn't walk back his stance. He chose to wait, watchful and calm, letting those 7 words hover like a drawn curtain. Would the promises become pages, then shooting schedules, then footage that honors the character? Or would they vanish once the storm passes? That question kept everyone guessing. This saga didn't stay in the studio. It crashed into the world of sponsorships and cross-promotions. The brands backing the series didn't put their chips down merely for any script, they invested in an image, the particular glow of Erkan and Hazal. Their harmony sells. Their combined presence is the magnet. Word is that advertising partners began leaning on the production with sharp clarity, keep them both, or the calculators close. Without that duo, the equation collapses, is how one source framed the tone. That external push only strengthened the actors' leverage. They weren't just talented anymore, they had the kind of soft power that makes spreadsheets blink. Through it all, Hazal chose disciplined quiet. "I'll speak when the dust settles," she reportedly told those nearest to her. It was a precise move. She knows that any phrase peeled out of context could be spun. Silence, in moments like this, can be strategy, forcing the other side to deliver specifics. Meanwhile, her management is said to be sprinting through back-to-back sit-downs, hashing out protections so promises don't evaporate by next week. Hazal isn't asking for favors, she wants guarantees, a real commitment to strong female leads as a principle, not a temporary concession. The conversation quickly spilled onto timelines and comment threads. Fans are torn yet united in dread. One camp celebrates Erkan's resolve, writing that together they are the value, and arguing that this clash could become the reset the series needs, clearing narrative drift and restoring balance. Another, more anxious group wonders if the end is already framed, if both walk, is the show over? Rumors spawn theories. Is this posture a negotiation tactic to secure fair terms, or are we watching a slow-motion exit that people will remember as the schism that rewrote a franchise's fate? What's essential to hold on to here is that this wasn't a sudden flameout. Crew members speak of a drip-drip of grievances, small at first, then heavy as sandbags. The bond between Urkin and Hazal wasn't forged in champagne toasts but in the routine grind, long days, shared notes, mutual pep talks when exhaustion pressed in. They're often seen conferring over lines, fine-tuning beats, shoring each other up when a scene needs a different shade. That camaraderie, not romantic rumor, but a professional alliance, made this stand possible. Urkin isn't shielding Hazal because of gossip, he's guarding the soul of a project they've built with care. To him, shortchanging her is shortchanging the whole. Meanwhile, the producers have been doing the math. Rewrites flew. Subplots were trimmed. The new arc building around Hazal's character is said to reconnect with the original promise, intelligence, agency, contradictions that make her human, not ornamental. The word trajectory has replaced cameo. The phrase "return to center" appears scrawled on more than one whiteboard. Yet an unease lingers, will the fix hold, or is this just a gloss that washes away at the first sign of ratings pressure? Off-screen, even the legal team stirred. Contracts were reread line by line. Contingencies were reviewed. Schedules were reshuffled to make space for new material. Everyone is bracing for 2 possible futures. A revitalized partnership or a high-profile parting. The stakes are wider than an evening slot, they're reputational, creative, and commercial. Then there's the human side. People close to Urkin describe a measured man, one who chooses his moments. He doesn't storm, he steadies. When he finally voiced that "if Hazal leaves, I'm leaving too," it wasn't theater, it was the outcome of careful thought. Those who know Hazal well say she meets turbulence with grace. She breathes, centers, and fights for craft, not for applause. Together, that balance is what audiences feel, the trust, the listening, the give and take that makes 2 performances sing in harmony instead of shouting for attention. As the days pass, the timeline narrows. Will we witness a creative renewal that actually elevates the series, turning this rupture into a renaissance? Or are we staring down a collapse brought on by a failure to steward the very talents that made the show essential? What we can already say is simple and significant: Urkin Meriç and Hazal Subaşı have won the moral argument. They've signaled that their art, and the dignity attached to it, isn't up for discount. Here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, we've got eyes on the minute hand. Any shift, any official word, any script tweak that moves from rumor to reality, you'll hear it with us first. Family, loyalty is rare in rooms where numbers speak louder than names. If this show of solidarity moved you, drop a like, share this video so the message carries to the people making the calls, and consider joining our VIP circle with the join button. Your support lets Turkish Spotlight Secrets keep telling the stories they'd rather keep in the dark. Now, a final thought as we wait. The set that once felt heavy is said to have lightened a little in the last 48 hours. It's subtle. A few more smiles, a few easier breaths. Not a victory lap, not yet. But a hint that when respect re-enters a room, the air changes. Hazal is preparing scenes that restore the layers she fought for. Erkan is calibrating beats that lean into mutuality, not imbalance. The writers, chastened, are digging into the texture they had misplaced. Viewers will notice. They always do. Not because of speeches or public statements, but because the camera can't fake an honest partnership. Still, the question hangs like a late-night echo: will those 7 words be remembered as a grenade that blew everything apart, or as a bell that called everyone back to their best selves? Sometimes all it takes to change a story's fate is a single act of courage at the right second. If the fixes hold, we'll look back on this week as the moment a show found its compass. If they don't, we'll say we watched 2 professionals choose principle over comfort. And there is honor in that, even if the credits roll sooner than they should. Stay close. Keep your notifications on. We'll keep listening, comparing drafts to scenes, promises to outcomes. Turkish Spotlight Secrets is not blinking. And neither, it seems, are Urkin Meriç and Hazal Subaşı.